traders, this is Rev-UP with SageFT. You're watching the live trading desk review and Rev-UP for Sunday, the 21st of September. I hope your teams are doing good on the pitch and on the field. I hope your teams are winning, or at least they put up a good fight if they lost, because remember, you can't win every game, you can't win every trade. That's not possible. All right, let's dig right into this. We're going to do a little bit different today. We're just going to review just for a couple minutes, and then we'll kind of talk about what I think is going to happen next, and then we'll kind of get into some different topics for just a couple minutes that are related to trading, but they're off the screen. All right, so we came in last week. This is the daily chart. We don't really need to go much below about the 4-hour chart here. So just taking a look at the daily chart. Up, and up. Everything's up and up. We went through the upper levels of 6616. And so what we're seeing is if we come back and test them, does it hold or does it not? All right, so Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. All right, so the 15th of September, let's take a look. Let's go to the 4-hour chart. All right, so this is beautiful, right? So now we're above, high and tight, comes down, touches it right to the tick, shkabink, shkabank, shkabunk, and then it's off to the races, right? So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So how did we trade it? Well, we traded it. There was a couple days I did really, really good, and there was a couple days I could have done really, really much better. But nonetheless, we just, you just follow the process. Here's the deal. You don't have to take a trade because it's moving down. If your 4-hour chart is bullish and you're not supposed to trade against the trend, well, then you don't need to trade against the trend. You just wait till it goes back with the trend. If it doesn't go back with the trend, you got to make sure that, but when it was with the trend last time, you made enough money to cover the times that it doesn't go back into the trend. If you didn't make enough money last time and you're waiting, you need to make sure that you make enough money next time so that you can benefit from it for when it happens again and you have to take a pause because there's no setups for you. All right, so now how do you play it? Well, just using the 15-minute chart, you just go with the KISS. You just go with the position one. You just go with your moving averages. And if the moving averages are sideways, either play chop range, wide range, narrow range, short range, or you don't trade at all. Most people think that you have to be in a trade. You do not have to be in a trade, folks. You do not have to be in a trade. Not being in a trade is an actual trade itself. It's called no trade. It's called sidelines. Sidelines is a position. Okay, so now if you just trade with the moving averages, when they all align in a hierarchical fashion, you just pull the trigger in a smaller time frame. All right, now I've made too many videos on how to do that. You can search all the other videos. You can look at last week's Sunday night review. You can look at almost every single review over on Twitter that we've had over the last 2 weeks. You'll see exactly how we trade that. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to talk about what do I think about next week. All right, so now here's the deal. Here is the freaking deal, folks. There's not enough people bullish, right? There's too many people saying the market's going to go down. Okay, there's too many people worried that the market is going to go down. Listen, the market's not going to go down when you're worried about it. The market is not going to go down when you're worried about it. The market is not going to go down when you're worried about it. The market is not going to go down when you're worried about it. It's going to go down when you don't worry about it. Right now, people are not euphoric enough. This is not straight up enough. There's not enough ATR expansion. Okay, we don't have, after this, remember, we consider this the actual price where in the name of love. And so this is the real value of the market. All right, so if this is the real value of the market, how far away from it do we get? How close do we get? And if we get back to it, how far below do we get? All right, so for now, as long as your grocery bill keeps going up, that's the way it's going to work. Okay, because the market is showing you what inflation is going to look like. Look, as long as they lower interest rates into a stagnating economy, okay, and inflation, this market just keeps going higher because they're paying for the same stock with more dollars, costs more to purchase each one. Okay, now what I want to talk about is I believe that this market either goes sideways or much higher next week. Okay, and now, well, Rev, where? I don't know. There, 6762. There's the actual answer. And if we go to the bottom side, we're going to 6520.75. Those are where we're going. Okay, we're going 6762. Now here's the deal. If we get above 6762, it's all over but the crying. Your test will be 6762. Okay, so now, all right, what I want to talk about now is I want to talk about something that is over the past couple months, I've done a lot of digging away from the charts, right? And here's the main concept that I keep finding again and again and again and again. And I hear this from everyone that I have listened to, read their books, listened to their audio books. I'm on about 100 different people books over the last 60 to 90 days. Okay. The reoccurring theme is very, very simple. Okay. And it's actually two things, right? So there's two quick things that I want to talk about, then we'll get up out of here because I want to get this film out. I want Madi to be able to edit it very, very quickly. Okay. The first thing that I want everyone to understand is that the market is 100% rigged. It is. Okay. But I want to remind you, it's not rigged by the market makers. It's not rigged by the brokers. It's rigged by your own mind. Okay. So if the market is rigged, but it's rigged by your own mind, how do we follow the rigging? What we want to understand is that the screen, the chart, is a reflection of self. What I mean by that is one green candle means something to one, means something other to someone different. What emotion did you bring to the table? What experience did you bring to the table? What info, what data, what mindset, what trade did you bring to the charts? What happened when you were 6 years old? What happened when you were 12? Did your parents get divorced when you were 7? Did you know that if you come from a divorced home, you're 73% more likely to close the trade before target? Okay. The second thing that I want to talk about with everybody, and this is something that you can work on directly immediately. Okay. And remember, you can collapse the distance of the wavelength between the two electrons immediately by going into the review, the market replay, and doing this immediately. Okay. And that is the one thing that has thrown most of us off and kept us where we are now is focus. Okay. It's the lack of focus. We think we're focused, but are you really? Are you really locked in? When I'm going through all of these books and audiobooks and other media sources of all of these different traders that have been claimed to be successful, including the ones, from today, like Lance B and those kind of guys, they all talk about one thing aside from the mindset, okay? And that's complete focus, right? Because what I want you to think of is if you go into a trading floor in downtown Manhattan, do you think it's loud? Not anymore. It's not brokers cold calling, right? Like you see in Wolf of Wall Street. It's concentration at its highest peak performance. Think about every time you step into your trading platform, you're trading against the greatest players of all time, every single time. So what is your focus level? So what I want everyone to do is I want you to document what your focus level is throughout the day, during the trade, before the trade, after the trade, when you're not in a trade and you're waiting. Okay, I want you to notice how I'm not entertaining you on the stream. My job is to trade, not entertain. Are you entertaining someone? Are you watching the kids? Listen to me right now. The best traders in the world are probably not running a daycare. Odds are very, very low that they're running a daycare, right? Are you? All right. Now, when you get with me on a one-on-one call, okay, and I'm your coach, I'm going to ask you what your home office situation is. If you have your wife with a desk right next to you, we're going to have to talk about that. Okay. Now, the reason I bring this up is it's the common theme in everything that I've heard over the last 60 to 90 days, from the very best traders to normal people to psychologists to therapists. And then it's been brought to my attention that some of the questions that are asked in the chat from the people that have been there for a very, very long time are questions that you should know the answer to. And if you don't know the answer to, how are you actually trading? So this week, let's end this on a very positive note of, hey, this week I'm really going to dial in. I'm going to be focused. That's going to do it for me. I'll see everybody tomorrow morning. Please hit the like button, subscribe, turn notification bells on. Apex 80% off, 1 day pass. I do believe it's $50 resets. We'll see you tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. We're going to rip. And another thing, one more thing. When I'm not streaming on YouTube, as well as streaming on YouTube, we are now running the charts 24 hours a day as long as the Globex session is open. On x.com, you can find me at _SageFT. You can see my charts running 24 hours a day. The reason we're doing that is, if you understand context, the painted bars create a wonderful trading process. Process over profits. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Good night.